Hi beautiful souls, I just got a new purse. It's so pretty, and this is such a North Node in the second house thing, isn't it? So we're going to be doing the last video in our North Node series today, and that is North Node in the second house through the signs. So I've made a North Node introduction video. If you haven't seen that, I highly recommend that you check out that video first. So links up above in the description box below, and you can kind of come back and watch this video to get a more comprehensive understanding of the North Node. And if you haven't yet joined our online astrology hub where you can connect with me and other astrology enthusiasts out there, you are welcome to join us. I'll leave a link in the description box below to that online platform. We got a community going there. We're talking about a lot of insightful astrology and human design related topics, like looking at fears in the spleen of the human design, for example. So if you have a North Node in the second house, you'll have a South Node in the 8th house. And if we are with any South Node placements, the two stuck in the South Node, we're going to feel like our soul slowly begins to decay and we'll experience discontentment. If we move too quickly into the North Node sign and house, we can get a little bit obsessive and it can lead to a bit of fanaticism. So if we can balance the North and the South Node together, meaning that we move towards the North Node, taking with us the skills of the South Node, we can find that life has new meaning and we can experience possibilities we never even before knew existed. So if there's a tapping noise in the background, I apologize for that. It's the construction. They always seem to decide to carry out with the construction on the days when I film, and when I'm not filming, there's generally nothing going on and it's really quiet. So with the second house North Node and an 8th house South Node, the fragmentation of your soul lies in the fact that you may tend to cling to the idea of figuring out other people's value systems in order to gain security in yourself. In this process, your soul may fall easily into a pattern of seeking for intimacy, where you can bond with another, whether it's through a sexual relating or a business type of relating, that you can join, where you can join your finances together and join anything together, really. This to you brings security and safety because it guarantees that the other person has given you their all and you have given them their all in exchange for each other's value systems. You naturally understand that sex equals trust and money equals trust, and therefore sex equals money, because you wouldn't be sharing your resources or sometimes having sex with someone unless you trusted them. So therefore, sex and money would be equivalent to trust and they would be equivalent to each other. But if you reach a peak and a life experience in which you fully understand this and you still push further, because the 8th house does rule obsessions with the South Node placement, meaning that you can still push for more because you're obsessed and addicted to this type of a way of being, you will get obsessed and you will feel discontent, like your soul slowly begins to decay. Because obsessions with another person's values can generate all kinds of drama, like jealousy, envy, possessiveness, because you begin to lose your sense of self-worth and your own personal values. So the process of trying to gain that back and feeling powerful again, having the power again, generates the types of controlling or maybe manipulative behaviors that I just previously mentioned. And I know this may be hard to hear, but you know, you have a South Node in the 8th house, you want the truth. So you're here in this life to learn to integrate your soul back together again through the process of moving towards the second house. This means, first of all, figuring out what it is that you really value, despite what anybody else in the world thinks or values or tries to impose on you. And really try to make a living and earn money from doing what is that you value. And as a result, this builds up your sense of self-worth in the process. So the second house rules the house of values, self-worth, making money. using your own efforts to make money based on what it is that you value, as well as it's the house of sensual pleasures, your voice, your expression, and sometimes it shows along with other houses, your past and your family upbringing. So to cultivate what it is that you really value, it may be necessary to first get practical about what is it in your life that has been the traits or the characters, traits that have gotten you through times of hardships in your life, that has been sort of a pillar of strength for you. What areas of your life or what types of traits do you believe is important in times of hardship? What gives you comfort, peace, and inner stability? What constitutes to a fulfilling and content life? So these are a couple of questions that you may consider asking yourself when you're navigating the ocean of personal values. You may get many answers and you may need to prioritize them. And astrology can actually make this a little bit easier for you, because generally what you value is going to be the qualities and the traits of the sign of your North Node that's residing in the second house. But still, this doesn't make it easy for you to cultivate this as a part of your personality. It's something that you're going to have to work with. Once you've figured out what constitutes a solid value system for you, now it's time to ask whether the job that you are having right now currently is in alignment with your value system. If you, for example, value solitude, are you in a job where you have to be out and about and socializing and networking with lots of people in one day? If so, then you may need to adjust some things here and there. Also, to really put your values into practice, the next time that the darkness of the 8th house kind of pops up, meaning that for some situations in your life you start to feel possessiveness, jealousy, or envy, rage, vengeful, look at how you have been living your life based on what you value and how great it feels to live the life that you want. That's in alignment with everything that you value. Feel how worthy life is when you can live it in a meaningful way. How you can make money and get prosperity in doing what you love and value, and how worthy you yourself are. Get with your self-worth again. Remind yourself that you are worthy. Draw the energy back into yourself. The grounding and the common sense into your system, and love yourself. If you have this placement, I'm going to give you a reminder to never compromise your values for anything. Not for money, not for sex, not for security that can be generated from another person's resources. Nothing. So when you first get in touch with your North Node, and this can happen any time in your life depending on what else in your chart is supporting this and who you may meet in your life, but the first encounter with the North Node tends to lead to a bit of an obsession and a fanaticism. And with this North Node placement, this can mean jumping out of the darkness of the 8th into the light of the second house with stubbornness. Meaning, yes, overindulgence in money, materialism, luxuries, food, and pleasures at the expense of your real values by adopting inauthentic or fake values just to get rich. You are actually so blessed with the North Node in the second house, because do you know what happens when you are loyal to your values and you have integrity to stick by and work hard to earn the money that you should be earning? You become a talent to behold, and the universe rewards you with all the abundance and wealth and prosperity and love, more than you could ever ask for. But you have to first send out the vibration into the universe that you are enough, you are self-love, you generate abundance already from within. So a couple of things that you can do to get in touch with this North Node placement. First of all is to generate your own income if you can, and if that's not possible, then at least have your own bank account. If you do what you love with this placement, meaning in your job, you'll get this feeling like you don't need to spend money on instant gratification anymore. You can actually save up and you can make a lot of money. Otherwise, if you're not doing what you're really passionate about, what you really value, there's a tendency to spend to feel better. The second thing that you may consider doing is to either read or watch videos or get some information about how to prioritize your values and how to figure out what it is that you really value in life. Do some exercises regarding that and stick to it. And the last thing that you may want to consider doing is to allow yourself to live an easy and simple life. Free of drama. Like, for example, just simply reading on the weekends, taking a walk in nature, gardening, cooking something good for yourself, eating slowly, enjoying a good movie. I'm kind of making myself hungry now. So the sign that your North Node is in the second house will show the traits and the qualities that you actually value and need to build within yourself to feel loved and supported and worthy again. So if you have an Aries North Node in the second house, you'll have a Libra South Node in the 8th house. You're here learning to cultivate values of independence, no matter what. No one can hold you back from getting what you want with this placement, because you know Aries, the phrase for Aries is I am, and Taurus, it is I want. The second house, the archetype of Taurus, it's what I want. So I want to be what I am, is what we have here. So that mindset and value will have to be supported by your job and the way that you make money. If you have a Taurus North Node in the second house, you'll have a Scorpio South Node in the 12th house. You're learning to cultivate values of building something and then seeing it through into fruition. So your job and the way you make money, you will have to follow that mindset. Earning your own money with this North Node placement is going to become that much more vital, but you have to do it gradually at your own pace with loyalty and patience and beauty. If you have a Gemini North Node in the second house, you'll have a Sagittarius South Node in the 8th house. And with this, you're learning to cultivate the values of valuing your creative voice, to find ways of expressing your opinions and your visions in the material world, and learning to promote yourself using a large portion of your own efforts in the money-making process. You always, with this placement, have people by your side to present you with opportunities, but you must choose these opportunities carefully and you must pursue them with integrity. If you have a Cancer North Node in the second house, you will have a Capricorn South Node in the 8th house. So you're learning to, first of all, dig very deep, deeper than other South Node, North Node axis, into the insecurities that really hold you back from your fulfillment in this life. Capricorn in the 8th house can make you a little bit stuck when it comes to making money, meaning that you can be very obsessed and compulsive and work really hard and determined to make money, but you just end up spending it because the work that you do is really just not fulfilling. And the Cancer North Node is, when you're overdoing it, it just needs to feed and feel better through money. And the values that you can learn to cultivate to balance this type of an energy is your sentiment. What are you sentimental about? What allows you to be just you? Do that. Not do something that your mom, that your parents, your mother or your father has unconsciously imprinted within you to be something worthy and of value, but it's only of value to them. That is their value. What are yours? With a Leo North Node in the second house, you'll have an Aquarius South Node in the 8th house. You might be learning here to cultivate values of hard work. You might be learning here to cultivate values of pride in your creative self-expression. Not vanity, but pride. Pride in your hobbies, in being the center of attention and taking risk in life. This will bring you wealth and should become a part of your career, your job. If you have a Virgo North Node in the second house, you'll have a Pisces South Node in the 8th house. So you're here to learn to cultivate values of hard work, organization, and understanding good health and healing. If you could work on building your intellect into craftsmanship, meaning that your mind on its own can be a craft. That's something that could really serve the world. If you have a Libra North Node in the 2nd house, you have an Aries South Node in the 8th house. You're here learning to cultivate values of beauty and harmony. It's a double Venus placement here because the 2nd house is ruled by Venus and Libra is ruled by Venus. So whether it's harmony in the spoken language, in the visual arts, in music, in design, even in tact and counseling through the use of harmonious words and languages. Sometimes it can be in terms of food, the culinary arts. These are core values that you can really play with and incorporate into the way that you make money. If you have a Scorpio North Node in the 2nd house, you have a Taurus South Node in the 8th house. You're here to learn to value strategy, resourcefulness, and authenticity at your core. This axis, however, can kind of lead you to fall into the obsession with the money-making process and the power that it brings, that you may, without really realizing it, kind of push or knock other people out of your path in your process to success. So one of the things you may really actually be learning to value is inner power and developing inner strength and, transparency rather than secrecy. If you have a Sagittarius North Node in the 2nd house, you'll have a Gemini South Node in the 8th house. So you're learning to value your own beliefs through life experience. So getting out into the world and having some form of travel-related career will allow you to make money in your process of self-discovery, allowing you to form your own beliefs about life. If you have a goal and you can stick with it, this is going to enhance your self-worth tremendously. If you have a Capricorn North Node in the 2nd house, you will have a Cancer South Node in the 8th house. And with this, you're learning to value inner strength and discipline when climbing to the mountaintop. South Node and Cancer in the 8th house can kind of make this hard because it's easy with the South Node placement to just depend on others emotionally in order to kind of pump you up when you need to be pumped up, as well as relying on others' resources to pump up your emotions. But that won't bring fulfillment. If you can make it on your own without questioning, why things are happening to you in a certain way, and stick with your integrity in the process, that will bring self-worth and the abundance will pour in. If you have an Aquarius North Node in the 2nd house, you'll have a Leo South Node in the 8th house. You're here in this life learning to value and cultivate your own eccentric ideas and progressive ideas for the future advancement of our society. This South Node energy can kind of leave you a little bit fixed in doing what it is that you've always done in the way that you've always done it. And then again, that could actually be coming from the ego needing power with Leo in the 8th house, Eventually, you move into the North Node and realize that all your crazy ideas can actually make so much money. There was no need to cling to power in the first place. If you have a Pisces North Node in the 2nd house, you'll have a Virgo South Node in the 8th house. With this placement, you're here to cultivate the values of faith and trust. Trust in the process of the universe when it comes to making money and getting abundance. When you send out energetically an aura that you have everything you ever needed inside of you, the abundance, the creativity, the richness of spirit, following your passions, because after all, this South Node placement with Virgo in the 8th house is actually very gifted when it comes to managing money. So all you have to do is cultivate the faith and use your intuition. Follow those passions and the wealth will pour in and you'll know exactly how to manage it. So, beautiful souls, that's it for my interpretation. This is the end of our North Node series. If you want to comment below what series you would like to see next, then you may do that. But I am already working on a couple of series. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below if you haven't. If you already subscribed, thank you very much for coming along. I do birth chart readings, synastry, relationship readings. All the information is on my website. And if you like the content that I've been putting out and you would like to support me, you can do so through an online platform called coffee.com by buying me a coffee to support my work. So yeah, have a beautiful day then, beautiful souls. Bye.